it's Steffi from Stephies, Beads and Baubles, and the last time I talked to you in my first video, I mentioned I had some trays that I needed to go through, and I thought that'd be a good jumping off point is to kind of show you what's on my trays and how I'm going to put those away. It's a lot of stuff. I'll only tackle a couple trays because I'm trying to keep my original videos kind of short because I really don't know what I'm doing. In fact, right now I'm actually setting my stopwatch so that I know the one on my phone. So I know when to stop because I know there's something about you have to be under 15 minutes. I'm really learning this. So I don't know what I'm doing. I have a son with a couple channels. He's going to help me. But for now, my first few videos are probably going to be unedited, just what I can do on my own, and then he'll start helping me edit a little bit better videos. So I appreciate you bearing with me while I do learn, but I didn't want to wait until I learned everything to start, or I'd never start. So without further ado, let me see if I can turn the camera onto my trays and we can go from there. So let's see here. Here, I'll pull the first tray down, and it's really random stuff. I'm going to be honest with you. It's kind of crazy. Okay, can I get the camera? Okay, hold on a minute. This isn't working. Just a minute. This is rather stupid that I cannot seem to get a handle on this situation, but let me take it off of its holder here, my tripod. Okay, I think this will be easier. Please forgive me. I know that I've been doing some crazy filming my first couple videos, but here's the first tray, and there's random stuff. This was for a project I did for my sister-in-law, and there's just a few feathers and arrow charms on here, which I need to take off the card and put into one of those boxes on the shelf. And then you can see I hit Hobby Lobby. Forgive me, I've never used a movie camera before my last video. I'd always used a point and shoot even for videos. So I'm not used to figuring out where the window that I'm looking into and the lens are. So I do apologize. I will get better at this, I promise. I only buy beads when they're half off. So obviously I paid $1.50 for these pretty red beads, and they're still sitting on the tray. This piece here was a vintage piece I bought for literally a couple bucks. I think I paid $5 for this, and I thought it was kind of cool with the pretty clasp. Not really sure how old it is, but I do think it's an older piece, and it will be taken apart for parts. And maybe I'll do a video on taking apart some jewelry. This is another vintage piece. This one is older. It is missing the rhinestones in the clasp, but that's okay. Hold on, let me get... You guys, I'm so sorry. It's missing the rhinestones, which my husband pointed out to me when I bought it. But I've got some rhinestones I can probably put in there. And this, again, will be taken apart and used for jewelry or wine charms or whatever beaded things I want to make, ornaments. I love the clear crystals. This is a Hummel postcard. Why it's on this tray, I don't have a clue. But it's a vintage Hummel. There's actually a couple of them here. Vintage Hummel postcard that I got somewhere, and I think they're fairly old, but anyway, they're on the tray. And then here is another piece from my sister-in-law. She needed one, and she gave me the other one. Kind of a neat little compass. This is an apple felt painted pen that I made probably 10-15 years ago, or longer. Could have been even longer than that. That was for the kids or grandkids to give to a teacher. I love making things out of felt, and it's obviously gotten damaged over the years. And again, why it's on this particular tray, I have not got a clue. An old store that went out of business. I have the card on here, the loyalty card. Here's a charm, just a random charm. I think the rest of the set I did something with. And you can see the tray is just covered with all kinds of weird things. Here's an ornament that is not glass, it's plastic. And there's an acorn, because we must have an acorn on our tray. And buttons, lots of old jewelry to take, well, actually this isn't old jewelry. This is a piece of jewelry I got on clearance at Walmart for $1 or $2, and I bought it to take it apart and use it for a project. I may use the tassel as is, or I might take all those beads apart, because there's some real pretty beads. But I got a couple of those. I got 2 of those, and more stuff from Hobby Lobby. I bought some jump rings, and here's some beads from a necklace I took apart. And just random stuff. It's just jewelry I'm taking apart, or I'm planning on taking apart, or did take apart. I especially love filigrees. I love to use them for jewelry. They're great for wine charms. And just all kinds of stuff. I love vintage keys. So there's always vintage keys. So just all kinds of random stuff on this tray that you can see. Some of it's pretty cool. Some of it's just stuff. There's some toggle clasps that I used for a project, and then there they sit. This is an odd item. It's a bird nest that I painted and glittered. And this is from an ornament that I took apart that was just those. The whole ornament was made up of those glued onto foam, and I figured those would make nice little accents for crafts, but the ball itself was pretty ugly. So that's the first tray. Just a bunch of nonsense, if you ask me. Great stuff, but why it's that way. Here's tray number 2, and this has more new stuff. As you can see, I got stuff at Hobby Lobby for 75 cents. It was $3. So when they have their big sales like that, where you get it for 1/4 of the price, I always try to pick up a few things, and I got quite a bit for that price. All kinds of things, and a bunch of these different tassels. Here's a beautiful locket that I got for 1/4 of the price. And some findings. I always like to get pretty findings. And these are some charm sets that were also marked down 75% off. These are for stamping, something else I want to do. And I do have some of the alphabet stamps and the hammer that you use. Like I told you, I want to do everything. So this is a necklace I bought off of eBay. And this is a cautionary tale. Things on eBay do not always come looking like they did in the picture. This necklace is actually pretty ugly. On the picture, it looked really pretty. So apparently I'm going to have to use some kind of nail polish or paint or glue or something to make those flowers look a little better, because they're pretty ugly. But that's what's on this tray. Just a whole lot of stuff. These are bead caps that I actually bought a bracelet that I have somewhere that was made completely out of these type of bead caps. And I got it for like 50 cents. And they're all the different colors of metal. So I plan on using these for tassels, and I'll take the bracelet apart and have all kinds of them. I thought this was kind of fun. Right here, this sequined piece, it's broken, but you know, it's got a break in it. But I'm going to cut it off the ring and use it for some kind of jewelry or craft. So this tray is a lot of new stuff that I just haven't put away yet. And that's some pretty things. Real pretty things. So that's that tray. And this next tray has some books on it that I've had for over 20 years. And a pattern book actually that my husband and I did all those years ago, where he would create earrings and make up these patterns. And so I actually made a pair of earrings recently out of the seed beads. This is one of the things I love to do. And I made this real pretty, kind of translucent pair of earrings that I'm real pleased with. So all the pieces that I used to create the earrings, are on this tray. So it's kind of a boring tray. There's not a whole lot on here. But I planned on making these in all different colors. But here we sit, and several weeks after I made this pair, that's all I made. So I'll give you a quick tour around the room. It looks a little better than the last time you were here. I do have some crafts out, but let me give you a quick tour. If you remember the last video, it was a pretty big mess. My desk was covered with stuff from the yard sale, but all that's on there now is my glue gun and a few miscellaneous craft things. The mushroom container was something my granddaughter was playing with, so I'll put that back with her little toys. Then my desk is covered with stuff, but it's a creative mess, and I'll get into that on another video. But I've made some fun things that I've learned from watching other videos and kind of did my own take on some of them. And this is some of the stuff I'll get into. All kinds of creative and fun materials. Lots of beaded charms I made, and I just took wood and dominoes, and this was a poker chip that I made into a pendant with some vintage Coke lids. So this is kind of what my desk looks right now, but this is a work in progress mess. Those don't bother me. Anyway, the rest of the room isn't looking too bad. So let me see if I can flip this around and say bye to you. Let's see here. Anyway, so that's where I'm today. Unfortunately, I'm still not able to edit. I've got to get an editing program, which I have not done yet. So please forgive me for kind of crappy video quality. I do apologize. I do promise to get better. My son has not had a chance to sit down with me between his job and working on his costumes for his channel, because they do a lot of skits. He hasn't had much time, but he promised me this week he will sit down, help me to download an editing program, and my videos will get better. So I do apologize. But I wanted to take you around, and I wanted to make sure I got another video on there this week. I don't want to just let it go. So forgive me for this video not being the greatest, but I want to keep putting things out to let you know I'm here. And my next video will be more on creating something, making something, maybe some of the earrings on the tray. I'll find something fun, and we'll make that together in my next video sometime this week. But I do thank you if you've come back to watch another video, and I do apologize again for the quality of my video. I'm really doing the best I can because I have no idea what I'm doing. But I will see you soon, and I'm going to try to turn this camera off.